So, the Soul of Cinder is supposed to be all about getting your goddamn mouse off the screen. Go away. There. So, the Soul of Cinder is supposed to be all about representing every champion who has gone to Link the Fire before, which is why the Soul of Cinder apparently has such a diverse moveset, because it's supposed to represent every player character who would have linked the fire. And that means every player character. That's why he has a sword that he'll sometimes try to whack you with like a club, and can also use a Master Spark on you. Giant laser beamu of death. But I'm not really in the mood for a final boss yet. So I'm wondering if the optional content is worth looking at least. GMA tells me I could be getting in desperately over my head. But since when have I ever avoided doing something stupid? I mean, I'm a lot stronger than I was before, right? Should be able to at least try this. Also, how many soul items do I have that I haven't eaten yet? Aside from boss souls, only one. Well, that was easy. Hi. I dare you to enchant your mace with holy magic. Huh. Your shield is embossed with what looks like kind of a golden eagle. Makes me think about the emblem of the United States. Ow! And the fact that you have a mace, like you're in the House of Representatives, you're like a proto-American in a fantasy universe. You're also tough as hell. You don't take much damage. Oh, and you can heal yourself too. That's good. But that's just a good opportunity for me to get up and slash the shit out of your armor tin can butt. Bam. That's it. Would have expected a Titanite chunk at least. If not, an outright Titanite slab. Lowered into the shaft of madness. I could have stepped out on that. Didn't feel like it. Probably should have felt like it. Not morally a good person. Oh, fuck. Poison. Oh. Some of the evil chaos demons over there. I don't know what that biological tentacle nastiness is supposed to really represent in these games. Consumed King's Garden. Good lord. So that's going to be the boss's name, right? The Consumed King? Because every boss in Souls games... Okay. Should have picked you off from a different distance. Every boss in a Souls game is either a king, or a prince, or a knight. You know, something you'd almost, but not quite, expect to show up in a pack of poker cards. That's like the most basic offensive miracle. It's so basic that it's kind of not even offensive. Just like a defensive miracle. I'm pretty sure an equivalent existed to that in Demon Souls of all games. How to summon the elevator again? Oh, here's the switch. Now let's step out on this ledge. And if I'm lucky, it'll give me a nice sniper's perch. This railing's in my way. Alright, this might work out. Oh. Get too close, huh? That's alright. I can be patient. Well, waiting for you to repeatedly expose yourself, and not in a sexy way, even though I wish it were in a sexy way, would be a lot less painful than taking you up in person, so, yeah. Man. Speaking of having sex with one of these things, that's like hyperactive tentacle hentai action. Like, it can only be so big before putting it into a human orifice murders the person and literally rips their body in half. Wait, I wonder if this means I'll finally get the payoff of knowing, like, where these flowing, sludgy tentacle monstrosities come from. I mean, like, it's kind of the MO of Souls games to give you some kind of body horror like this and then eventually show you the source of the body horror. Like, for instance, the crystalline curse that causes all these disgusting growths out of your body, murders you, and then gives you half your health bar. In Dark Souls 1, it was explained that that came from Seath. And what the dark or the abyss does to human bodies gets described in the DLC to Dark Souls 1. It ultimately comes from Manus. The dark awfully, awfully corrupts the Ulasil people. Ugh. So do I get to see where the sludgy crap of this game comes from? Huh. I could have stood here, but that's seems like it's almost certainly within the sludge monster strike range. Out of the poison. Out of the poison. Another cathedral knight. Oh, whatever. I have moss. It's fine. Yeah, rings of sacrifice are useful. Lots of really gross crap going on around here. You don't, like, the Cathedral Knight aesthetic here doesn't really seem to fit. You're this, like, high-tier crusader of Jesus. Ah! What are you doing in a sludge pit? Also, it's weirdly easy to guard break you with that massive tower shield. Great mace. Goodness gracious, great holy maces. Oh no. More sludge monsters. They're all active already. I don't think I'm gonna get a good safe sniper's perch. This area is too wide open. Damn scary. I can see what looks to be my objective on the far end of the courtyard over there, but I still want to explore more. And we're not going to get that done if these things come out of nowhere and clobber me to death. I wonder if it has limitless aggro, if it'll fall me back to the place where I can get a sniper's perch. No? Can it not go up the stairs? Yeah? Yeah, you can go upstairs. You don't stick to what you're doing for very long. Which means you'll return, and I might not get time to shoot at you. Damn. Oh, there's an item over here anyway. Oh, man, I can't believe I walked right past that. Man, somebody said I haven't explored very much, and that is clearly 100% factual. I've just been kind of going through the game naturally and organically. God, you're like 12 miles away. You know what? The bonfire's not that far away. See if I can't handle this thing up and close and personal. up on this stone platform. I said up on the stone platform. Ow! Fine. If you don't come up close, I'm going to shoot you until you do. Wow, your behavior's inconsistent. Fine. I can see that mid-range combat with the bow and arrow is the smartest, because this is the optimal range at which to goad you and still shoot you to death. That's alright. That's why I always build my Dex characters to also be archers. Mostly when I'm not experienced with that particular game yet, because that is an easy way to deal with challenges that you do not know how to handle. Like shooting a slug in a swamp. I'm pretty sure even the most low-class, cheap, incestuous hillbillies have never shot a slug in a swamp before. Yeehaw! We're gonna go out with the BB gun and the 22 LR, and we're gonna go shoot slugs in the bayou. Can't you see I have much bigger things to deal with? Fuck off. You can go upstairs, you just choose not to. Okay, never mind. You're too close for bow and arrow. Oh, god damn it. I really want to do this. I don't care what weapon I use. I just really seriously need to kill you. But I let him get too close. That was my problem. Oh no! That's alright. I've got a bunch of arrows on my other button. Don't panic. And now I'm loading you up like a pincushion and you're just walking away. What is with you guys? Like, not only are you terrible deformed monstrosities, you clearly have bipolar disorder, too. That was far too complex. And that's not the game's fault. That's my fault entirely for not knowing what the hell I'm doing. Speaking of not knowing what I'm doing, I would love to get all these poisonous items. It's good to see that dark gem, because I actually wasted one before. On some prior boss that was weak to dark, so when I was having trouble with... Was it Sullivan? I think it might have been Sullivan. So I spent the gem on making a dagger, and that ended up not helping at all. Oh, is that? Oh, that's toxic. Shit. Okay, here we go. Phew. More elevators. What good is a Souls game if it's just not loaded with enough elevators to make an infrastructure engineer cream his jeans? Although, some elevators are frustratingly slow. Yeah, this is just like a wing of Lothric Castle that I didn't get to see before. You just deflected an arrow with the shaft of your scythe, and this was apparently difficult and painful for you. But you know what? There's a lot of kinetic energy in an arrow, so... Oh, that wasn't even an arrow. It was a blow dart. Die really fast if you wouldn't mind. Come on down. Now, as much as I've really come to value some of the boss fights in this game, upon just fiddling around with Dark Souls 1 on my Switch, it kind of struck me that nothing in this game has really stabbed me right through the heart like Ornstein and Smough did. This game is good, don't get me wrong. Dark Souls 3 is really good. I mean, I'm quite enjoying it. And, yeah, that was a return pipe. All good. Which is good because I need to go spend this Estus shard. Oh, I just ruined your Saturday. Ruined yours, but marginally less so. Now, was this whole area just a return pipe, or was there some other point to this? Man, all the spells in the world don't matter when you got a giant sharp blade. There's a life lesson in that, I think. And the life lesson is that magic in Souls games is really frustrating. Like, even when I did play a magic-bearing character, like back in Demon Souls, by the end of the game, you absolutely have to have gotten yourself a weapon that simply scales on intelligence for magic damage. Because spellcasting is just so slow and frustrating. When your character is capable of being like a ridiculous acrobat who can do all kinds of crazy crap and swing your scythe around and jump into danger and then come out of the jump with a slash, and, you know, you're like a member of the A-team, except far, far less stupid. And yet the game wants you to slow down and pause so you can go like, pachoom. Pew. Can't handle it. It's too slow. It's too boring. Oh, and of course the sludge monsters respawn. So I don't really think there's another... Oh, there's this. Alright. The sludge monsters wouldn't be weak to dark, would they? I mean, if I don't have to aggro them, I kind of don't want to. They're very time-consuming and expensive to fight. Yep. Yeah, we get the whole walking around forlorn, oh, woe is me, God has forsaken me thing that you got going on. Oh, where is Gwen? Ow! Shoot. Oh, not shoot. Oh, shoot! Nah, not too bad. Any more items I missed? It just looks like a little bit of light reflecting off the slugs for some reason. That doesn't seem evolutionarily likely that the slugs would reflect light. If anything, they'd want to avoid the eyes of predators. But hey, I'm not a biologist, nor am I a physicist, nor am I anything useful at all, really. I mean, nominally I'm a telecom engineer, but really, in skill level, I feel more similar to an auto mechanic. Alright, big boy, come on, swing your sword, do-si-do. Crack the hero's head open. Oh, God, I didn't mean literally. It was just a song. Hmm. Let's listen closely. Listen closely again. When was it that we started deciding that it was okay to hear footsteps in video games? Like on the NES and the Super NES, when Mario was running around on those 2D side-scrolling platform levels, you didn't hear his footsteps. You didn't hear him go thunk, 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 thunk with every time he put his feet on the ground. I think it was about in the N64/PS1 era we started thinking it was okay to have footsteps everywhere. I remember when I was a stupid teenager with terrible taste, I played Final Fantasy VIII on my PlayStation, and your lead character in that game, every time he walks around an environment, you hear thunk, 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 thunk. When I'm pretty sure that was not the case in Final Fantasy VII, and it was certainly not the case in any console before that. Step, 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 step. Step, 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 step. Roll. Yeah. And now, like, hearing footsteps in games is so common, we don't even think about it anymore. We just automatically tune it out. Even in the games that didn't do it originally. Like the recent Mario games. You can hear Mario with his bizarre Mickey Mouse gait walking over surfaces and go like thump, 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 thump. Even though Mario games absolutely did not do that in the beginning. So even for games that don't really try for realism, like, you know, anything cartoony that Nintendo does. I mean, Souls games, of course, do try for a degree of realism in the gothic fantasy body horror genre of things, but still, some degree of realism in that. And we have pretty realistic sounding footsteps. I remember in another game, Silent Hill on the PlayStation 1. That, you spend the entire game listening to Harry Mason walk over wood-paneled floors and walking over streets and grass, and the grass sound effect was really stupid. It sounded like Harry had ducks in his shoes. Whack, 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 whack. Ow. I'm curious as to when and why we decided that hearing players' footsteps in games was a necessary element of realism and immersion. It's like we did it absolutely as soon as the hardware was capable of it, you know? Ow. I'm actually pleased that you guys lose interest this early. I'd like to take another attempt on you, bro. Boom. Headshot. We've got 17 light years worth of reach on that sword, but I've dealt with lots of blokes who have big swords. Oh, please, don't be fancy. You know what I used to get out of the ghetto? Oh, well, nothing, because I died in the ghetto, apparently. God, I suck at this. Anytime now, sweetie. Oh, that's a big advantage. Ah, so that's how you win. You cheat. Well, that's probably why cheaters do it. Yeah, much surer chance of victory. Nope, not going to convince you to drop down. Ah, shit, fire, you hit so hard and so fast. You're quick. You're way quicker than my weapon. You know what? Screw this. Oh, of course. There's a boss right there. Oh, no. What am I hearing? It's hard to tell whether that's like an anguished song or an agonizing scream or a combination of the two. You've seen better days, haven't you? Ugh.
You ignorant slaves. Finally taken notice, have you?
Your voice sounds familiar.
Of the power of my beloved Ocelot, child of dragons.
I wonder if I know this voice actor.
Well, I will not give him up.
Also, an ocelot is a wild cat. You're disgusting, but you don't look to be that threatening. But who knows? You probably have all of the spells. Osiros, the Consumed King. Of course, in a Souls game, never judge a book by its cover, or even by its contents. AoE, Frosty Frosty.
Dear little Ocelot, where have you gone? Are you hiding from me?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Come out. Don't be afraid. You were born a child of dragons. What could you possibly fear? Now, show yourself, Ocelot. My dear little Ocelot.
You're not well in the head. And you're also talking about multiple video game characters and getting them confused with each other. Like, Revolver Ocelot was a fucking ex-paramilitary asshole who knew how to bounce bullets off of surfaces. And, the Dragonborn was the playable character in Skyrim. That looks like frost damage if I get too close. You are not weak to dark. It's pretty clear. Shalashaska! Fusroda! I'm very confused. I have no idea what your hitboxes are on those attacks, and it's just, yeah, really confusing me. We'll take a second attempt on this weirdo Dragon King dude, and I'm sure he's going to explain to me in great detail about how Super Mario has electric sacs on his cheeks, and that's why he wields Sulfuras, the mighty fire hammer that is emblazoned with Reimu's yin-yang orbs.
What could you possibly fear? Now, show yourself, Ocelot. My dear little Ocelot.
Good God. You're certainly the most talkative Souls boss I've ever met. Like, even King Allant had less to say than you do. I must save Princess Toadstool for Mehrunes Dagon. It's like, I gotta stay as close to you as possible. Because you have, like, all of your strikes have no point-blank melee range. Which means this could be the easiest boss. Aside from Yorm, that is. AKA stupid gimmick boss number 730B. Okay, so that has point-blank range, but it doesn't hurt me very bad, so... Really, the boss in this fight is the fucking camera! I'm getting, like, really visually confused with where my hero is in relation to this boy. And, good God, I can see... I know it's just supposed to be like a lump on your lower belly, but when we look at it like that, it looks like I can see your scrot from behind, dude. Your scrotum is unnaturally enlarged. You either need to stop taking so many steroids or start taking more steroids. Ow! Oh, wow! Alright, I need to know your weakness. I gotta do some more damage. Oh. Those could come in handy. Yeah, so it's lightning and frost, which means my ethereal sword might have to come out again. But yeah, so that would be useful. Aha. An even faster path. With an item I didn't get. Dragon Scale Ring. Nice. Be especially useful in PvP, I guess.
Dear little Ocelot, where have you gone? Are you hiding from me? Come out. Come out.
Those lightning urns don't really do diddly.
You were born a child of dragons. What could you possibly fear? Now, show yourself, Ocelot. My dear little Ocelot.
I do a ton of damage with this sword, though. Good lord. Yeah, I can do a lot more DPS with this versus the scythe. I'm a little ashamed of how many bosses I'm needing this sword to kill because so many things are weak to frost. But, I mean, this is just my first time through the game. I can do a more purist run with the Great Scythe later. I'm gonna cut off that giant, disgusting scrot of yours. Hey, Mark. You got a painful scrot? Well, you will in time. God, you're fast. God, you're fast. Yeah, you could dart across the arena basically instantly. I have to be in the process of dodging before you move. Can you imagine how much money you'd save on your air conditioning bill in the summer if you had this sword? You just, like, put a normal, non-air conditioned fan on the sword and have it blow cold, dry air throughout your house. The electrical and environmental savings would be tremendous if we could get that, like, installed in many, many people's homes. But then hopefully you could, like, go put the sword out in the back shed for the winter because you don't need it in your house during the winter, and instead bring in your fire sword for the winter. You might still need a humidifier because that's a lot of hot, dry air, which would really dry out the air in your home during the winter, but I'm sure a humidifier and a normal non-heating fan are electrically cheaper than a heater. Ow! Get out, get out, get out! Really slowed.
Are you hiding from me? Come out. Come out. Don't be afraid. You were born a child of dragons. What could you possibly fear? Now, show yourself, Ocelot. My dear little Ocelot.
You're a jumpy mofo. Gotta be close to you. When you're far away, that's when you're dangerous. Four attempts. That's kind of nothing. It's alright. Soul of Consumdoceros. I'm betting that gives me his staff. Don't use Estus when your health is full, you flippin' moron. Seath the Pale Drake. Alright. Ah, the Moonlight Greatsword. That's very pretty. I don't think I'll use it, but still, fine. Oh, feels good to take a load off. Speak, friend, and enter. Oh, you're not alive. Well, I mean, yeah, we're walking into a terrible crypt, but it kind of bothers me when people aren't alive, because that means I can't kill them. Like I'm gonna do to you right now. Oh, yeah. Also, are you like a hunched over ancient serpent man? Like from Sen's Fortress? Your head sure makes you look like you are. The Path of the Dragon is great and all, but I prefer the Trial of the Dragon. That's all we got? Certainly looks like the end. Oh, of course not. I'm glad I tried it instead of just turning around and going back. very dark out here. Like abyssal dark. The untended caves. Graves, excuse me, untended graves. I'm Peter Graves. Let's go back and spend these souls before I forget.
Ashen one for the Lords of Cinder, for the Ashen prisoners, for all those held to preserve the fire, link the first flame.
Why, though? Isn't this supposed to be the end of that cycle?
Then take.
Oh. Only 1 point. Alright. Could always use more damage.
Ashen one.
May the flames guide thee. Untended graves. Certainly are untended. This place looks like it was once a great mausoleum, but no longer. I hear some monsters. Hello, dogs. It's been a while since I almost got my nibs gnawed off by dogs. But it just makes me sad that I don't have a dog in real life. Because who wouldn't like to have a dog? They're man's best friend. Genetically conditioned to love us. Arguably love you more than another human being ever could. And don't worry. If my dog ever got killed in a tragic auto accident, I'd just use a time machine and bring him back to life. That's called pulling a Brian. Pulling a shitty animated sitcom. Not a good show at all. Oh, yep. I forgot you guys. Mildly threatening. Stop being like the dancer. You're bringing back trauma. And you're not weak to lightning at all. Alright, fine. Just slash you to death with my sharp blade on a stick. Thank you for being no longer alive. I know you have a choice of living states, and I want to thank you for your business in choosing being no longer alive. This is not just a mausoleum. Like, the way that the ground very suddenly ends in perpetual darkness, the aesthetic of it is just screaming abyss. Ah, I thought I was almost dexterous enough to get out unscathed, but no. Very, very scathed. Wait a second. This land layout, I knew this looked familiar. This is the beginning of the game. With a heavy coating of abyss paint. Or does it... is this truly the same place, but it's all dark now because I've advanced the game and the Firelink Shrine is now bathed in perpetual darkness? I don't know what's going on. Forgive me for my rampant ignorance, but I've got nothing for you. Please. Think you can backstab the jumpy stabby person who accidentally kills you without actually really meaning to? Be dead all at once. Yeah, this is where I fought Eudex. And that's Eudex again? Do I get to fight a champion Gundyr? So I get to fight an upgraded version, eh? You're one-handing a halberd. Mad respect, but why are you doing that? When two-handing would quite clearly be more effective. Like what I'm doing. When you get too many weapon archetypes, they start to overlap somewhat. Like, what's the really true big difference between a falchion and a machete? What's the difference? And when you think about it too much, what's the difference between a halberd and the great scythe? Ow, 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 ow. Oh, no! Oh, God! Oh, my insurance is not going to cover that. You know, you wouldn't think it, but in the world of Dark Souls, there is universal healthcare. Like, it's a post-apocalyptic dark fantasy body horror hellscape, but they have better social programs than we do. How does that feel? Ow, God. Yeah, you're quite a bit nastier than your counterpart at the beginning of the game. But I can learn how to do this if I stop sucking and take many attempts. Also, if those hills over there are what I think they are, then I must have missed a bonfire. I'm virtually certain I missed a bonfire. And let me guess, you're gonna be weak to lightning and frost. Because every fucking thing in these games is weak to lightning and or frost. Fucking called it. The dude's weak to lightning and frost. That's why I can't use my favorite weapon all the time. Oh, I didn't come over here. No, I'm not a nice person. Thank you for asking. Oh! Right through the abdominis clavicus. Ashen Estus ring. Ah, yeah, that must improve focus point recovery. I can see that being useful for some builds. I haven't used Ashen Flasks at all this entire game, though, really. Oh, I see. The frost has a stacking effect. That's why I was doing so much damage to Mr. Consumed King. Oh, dogs, dogs, dogs. Baka inyo. What if I just left you alone? That'd be fine, right? Yeah, so if this is truly a remake of the original area, then there would have to be a bonfire right around here somewhere. Attempt number 2. God damn, this sword is a death machine. And so is his halberd, sadly. Yeah, you've got combos and combos of combos. Like, you know when you go to the snack chip aisle at the grocery store, and in the saltiest, most unhealthy section, they have combos? Like those pretzels with cheese or pizza in them. That's what this guy got. Ah! You're gonna take a few dozen attempts, I can tell. Like, we can hurt each other really bad, but you can deal more damage than I can in a short time. God, he can juggle you for 100 consecutive years. God. You can never stop dodging, because he never stops comboing. It just goes on and on forever. It started before this game was even made, and it's going to continue long after the heat death of the universe. His combos don't stop! Good shit, this guy is intense. Adavestus. This is the attempt that's gonna really murder my self-esteem. Yep, there it goes. So fucking close. That lift and kick. So close. Motherfucker! One hit away. You can buy a Titanite slab for 30,000.
Ashen 1.
I'll probably have to spend that on this sword. Because I think you can get another one somewhere else in the shrine by trading an item with the crow, I guess. You drop embers? Holy shit. Thank you. That would have been good to know. Would have farmed up some here.
Ashen 1.
Just wasn't he?
There.
For they be
Fully upgraded snow sword. If this doesn't help me, nothing will. And nothing will. Attempt number 25. God damn it! Panic attack, panic attack, panic attack, panic attack. Okay, so the adrenaline and ephedrine will start to drain, replaced by a euphoric sense with dopamine and norepinephrine, or I forget. I can't speak. I'm so fucking stressed out. My mouth doesn't want to work. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. That is enough panic attacks for now. I'll just see what's right beyond this door. And then spend these souls on levels. Figure out what the boss soul does. Oh, Christ. My hands are shaking so hard I can't even hold the fucking controller. A more flamboyant person than me would take this opportunity to clap his hands really loudly and go, "Woo!" Ornstein and Smo, the 3 centuries. It's the boss battle that really, really fucking pisses you off, and yet you finally beat it. You do eventually. And even if you're not met with a complete rush of dopamine, and oh my god, I'm good at video games after all, you at least walk away without hating yourself. And the reason I pushed myself on doing this for so long is I knew for goddamn certain that if I gave up and said, "Oh, I can't fucking do this, please help me, internet," then I would just hate myself. I would hate myself for a week solid until I came back and actually completed it. Just like I did with the dancer. Like, after the end of the first video where I encountered the dancer, and then I walk away and a week later come back and finish it, for that interim week, I was like, God fucking damn it, I can't believe I fucking quit on this fucking goddamn. You know, there's not a lot of good, healthy self-esteem there. I can see a single torch in the distance. Or at least I could. I did it. I did it. And yeah, this is just the entrance to the darkened Firelink Shrine, right? The one that I just briefly poked my nose into. Right before going to see the Soul of Cinder. Oh, hello. It's actually somewhat of a comfort to see one of you guys after all this time. Because I at least know how you work. Although I don't know what art you gained in Dark Souls 3. I can light my axe on fire and chop your head off with it. Ah, and you with the greatsword. I met one of you first in the Undead Parish. And then met another one of you in the Kiln of the First Flame. And by met, I mean ran past hundreds of times as I was taking attempts on Gwyn. Oh, out into the pit almost. Well, that's the absolute anticlimax that we all come to expect. Come on. Don't play coy with me. That's more like it. I'm so flippin' jittery from that boss fight that I can't... Or, no excuses. I just suck. I'm just not good at this game. That's the real answer. Don't try to excuse it with, oh, well, Mercury's in the greater house of Vega. This is not my diva day, and this is horoscopes and Gemini cusp. And no. You just suck. You don't get to write this off on some external factor. Yeah, it's just the Darkened Shrine, right? Oh no. Coiled sword fragment. This is how I could get the other yeah. Why are you still here?
Wealth, a lost lamb want well, thou shouldst my purpose know. What can this...
What weird alternate dimension have I stepped into?
Best not tarry long.
Yeah? I'm really confused about the transactions taking place here. There's probably not much to explore here, is there? Patches is gone. He deserves no less. The ladder's gone. Well, I may come back to explore this more thoroughly at another time. For now, I'm just going to see if I can... Well, here, let's just see what the soul is that I got and see what it does. I'm sure it just creates his ridiculous halberd that smashed me 7 ways from yesterday. Once a champion came late to the festivities and was greeted by a shrine without fire and a bell that would not toll. Damn, that's the shrine I'm at right now. Yeah. Gundir's halberd or the prisoner's chain. And Gundir's halberd looks like a terrible weapon. Yeah. I'll keep my promise to GMA and not eat it, but it does not look like something I'd be interested in at all. No, let's go home and clean up for now. So I've got to get back up to where that crow's nest was, because I think that'll give me the other Titanite shard. Excuse me, Titanite shard? I meant Titanite slab. So I've never done this before. Do I just drop it? Oh, I see. That's like the feather in Dark Souls 2. Yeah. It's like a bonfire in your pocket, and you can return whenever you want. That's great. Whoa, you instantly transformed it. Awesome. That's okay. I don't need unlimited free uses of the Homeward Bone effect, because Homeward Bones are really easy and cheap. Good old aphasia. Yeah, easy and cheap to get a hold of. In fact, I can't spend the souls on another soul point, so I think I'll just go buy a butt ton of them immediately after upgrading my scythe. Because it is flat out unacceptable to think that you could have a fully upgraded Ethereal Sword, but not a scythe. Where did Andre go? Why am I completely confused on my directions here? Here we go.
Just wasn't it?
There it is. Legendary Great Scythe. Wacha! And that is it for now. So, is there more to explore over at that darkened version of the shrine right past the champion that took me 25 goddamn attempts? Or maybe I should go into the painted world now. I don't know. You tell me what you think.